Hey, what's up guys? In today's video we're talking about Machine Gun Kelly getting hate for his new Razor Schecter guitar that is $1,500. So everybody knows that the pop punk genre is notorious for self-harm. Everybody knows that that genre of music has always been labeled as emo, pop punk, screamo. Has always been labeled as a genre that has a lot of emotional teenagers that deal with their problems and their stress and their depression with self-harming themselves. Like I personally use working out as my self-awareness of helping with depression or stress or stuff like that. But these kids use razor blades. That is why the metal community is up in arms with Machine Gun Kelly. And Machine Gun Kelly says it has nothing to do with that. So on Twitter, Metal Burb says, I know MGK sucks and people don't like him, but what's up with that guitar being a razor? It's almost like he's glorifying self-harm. Schecter, man, the scene has problems with mental health, and making tools that can cause self-harm look cool is actually lame. Also, the guitar is hideous, but that's just observation, basically his opinion. Do I think it's hideous? Yeah, a box-shaped guitar that's shaped like a razor is obviously gonna set some people off, because some people have self-harm trauma. In my book, that's not okay. But Machine Gun Kelly responds, and Machine Gun Kelly's response says, you show your lack of depth by taking art as face value. This has nothing to do with the subject matter that you present. So, no, my friend, you suck. Well, to be honest, every time you hear an artist say something, you're gonna take it as face value. The same thing you take at face value if someone tells you something. You're going to believe what they say is the truth regardless. And Machine Gun Kelly saying, yeah, you took what my guitar looked like as face value, but it's not what it looks like. Well, to be honest, if it looks like a razor, and in that genre of music, people have self-harm with that tool, you would take it as face value. So he responds, Metal Burb responds back to Machine Gun Kelly saying, I actually don't mind your music, man. I find it quite catchy. And if you get more people into pop punk, that's pretty cool too. Because we all know that the more people listen to that kind of music, the better, right? And he goes, it's the majority of my followers that don't like your music. That's what I meant in the beginning. And that's not what he meant in the beginning. He meant that your music sucks. But the guitar is in it. The pink one that you had was badass. But the razor design doesn't sit well with me. I know it's not your intent like I assumed, but kids will think razors are cool. The emo pop punk scene is notorious for self-harm, and kids are super impressible and look up to you. And it is true that people do look up to him, and sometimes kids will look at something and go, oh, he's supporting razor blades, he's supporting this. So maybe it is okay to have a razor. Maybe it is okay to self-harm. But at the end of the day, it's an ugly designed guitar that looks uncomfortable. $1,500? I wouldn't pay for that. If you are looking at the guitar, right, and the guitar is symboling a razor blade, why wouldn't you think it would be taken at face value as a sign of self-harm? I just don't understand where he's saying art is up to interpretation. which he's not wrong there. But then he says, but you're taking my art in a wrong way. Then why don't you come out and explain what you mean? There is a video of him speaking live saying, oh, when I talk about razor blades, I'm not talking about self-harm, cutting yourself. I'm actually talking about shaving, like shaving my beard. What? So, do I think Machine Gun Kelly has some decent music? Some of the stuff I've heard is decent at best. Would I go out of my way to actually listen to it on a regular daily basis? Absolutely not. I'm just not a fan of it. He's the only one that I know of right now that's really in that pop punk genre that's like leading the way for the new generation of pop punk. It's cool that he's still being able to play pop punk music like Blink-182, Sum 41, and these other artists. But do I see where people are being triggered by the design of the guitar? Yes. But also Machine Gun Kelly has to realize the design of that guitar is going to be very triggering for a lot of people. But again, it sounds like he's trolling people. He made a guitar that he knew was going to be controversial. He knew was going to bring in a lot of eyeballs, a lot of news articles, a lot of people talking about it. So that's why he's talking about it, and that's why he brought it out, and that's why he knew people on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube were going to talk about it. He's going to get more views, and more people are going to want to check it out. But at the end of the day, do I think it's a bad, horrible design in a genre of music that is notorious for self-harm? Absolutely. Do I think it's something that the average Machine Gun Kelly fan's going to be able to purchase and people are going to buy him? Probably not. His pink guitar, yeah, maybe, because that looks like a regular guitar. But this one, it looks like a guitar that you would buy and you would just hang on the wall, because nobody is going to want to play something that looks like a razor blade, because it automatically, to me, just doesn't look comfortable. But are people just blowing this out of proportion? I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think with a comment down below. Are people blowing this more out of proportion than it actually should be? Or are people right by saying, dude, you made this guitar, you knew what you were doing, and you knew it was going to piss people off because it has a design that is notorious for hurting yourself in this genre of music?